Face to the screen again, fellow slaves. I was just thinking about what I was talking about yesterday, the stopping the use of profanity, and got me thinking earlier today about the idea of free speech. You know, certain groups, you can't talk about them anymore. You know, there used to be a saying that I can't remember who said it, but I may disagree with you, sir, but I will fight to the death for your right to say it. And that's no longer in the public consciousness. I think the last time I really saw it repeated was an episode of Family Guy where Peter Griffin, like, somebody said something so ridiculous and stupid, but he just turned around with that phrase. And I think it was to undermine the idea of free speech in general. Like, they were trying to make it sound like, I mean, there's some speech that is not free. Propagandists that would seek to tear down humanity, build themselves up by tearing other people down, and that's my biggest pet peeve. Like, at work, when another guy snitches on other people for something, he's not even on the same job site, but he just says some crap to the management. It's like, who are you? You're a traitor. You know, we all have to trust each other at work. We do dangerous work, so, and especially if I don't know who is the snitch, then I'm going to not trust anybody. Like, I'm going to go to work with anxiety now because I'm not able to trust anybody. So, traitors do not deserve, like, they're not protected under the First Amendment. So I would say that people like The View that propagate a lot of propaganda, that's all they do. And they would see America torn to ruins before they would see it gain anything meaningful, if you know what I mean. So, to me, they're traitors. Like, their free speech to me does not count. And a lot of people could say that about me, or people that maybe, I'm not saying I'm a big Donald Trump supporter, but like, Donald Trump supporters get run over the coals, you know, and it really raked over the coals, I think is the saying, but it's a shame. Like, we can't even have rational conversations anymore because we get to decide whose speech is free and whose isn't. But my point, though, is that, like, traitors that would see us destroyed as humanity, or let alone as a nation, they do not deserve the protection of the First Amendment. Yeah, I keep saying and I'm really trying to stop doing that. I stopped swearing, so I got to fill in the words with something besides F or S, or, you know. But it just seems to me like, you know, even today, like, the interaction I had, it was white people that annoyed me. You know, I'm white, so, like, I went and just turned in a bunch of scrap metal at the junkyard, and these people, well, you go to check out where you get your money from it, there's parking spaces. These people just pulled in and, like, covered up 3 or 4 parking spaces just right there by the door, and I'm like, I couldn't help it but say something like, oh yeah, you know, I mean, good parking, you know. Then they said something back, and I was like, whatever, you know, I mean, you know, you're wrong, I know I'm right, so I'm just going to move on. And they just, well, the one person was like, oh, God forbid, you know. I'm like, yeah, you know, I mean, God forbid you act like an idiot. You know, I said something kind of snarky back, and they kept walking, so I didn't really press it myself either, but just like, sometimes you got to let people know. But they're at a scrapyard, their truck looked like a piece of crap, and I'm not disparaging people that have crappy looking vehicles, because I know I'm one. But the thing is, it doesn't mean you can treat other people with disrespect, or, you know, I respect people that have old cars that are still on the road. But this one, they treated it like crap, they treated other people like crap, they were crap. They are crap. So, I don't know, I guess to get back on the point of free speech, though, it should be protected, but once people commit treason, then that's, like, you know, when they, when you're not allowed to question certain things, I mean, we should all be able to question things and gain knowledge, or even just share opinions. Even if we disagree, we should be able to share opinions and have a rational conversation about it. And some people might change their minds, and I'm not asking anybody to be convinced of anything most of the time when I talk to them, but it just seems to me like people need to get out of their own heads a little bit more and get out of their safe spaces. Like, locking ourselves in a dungeon of safe speech is like the last thing we need to do. You know, we can't just take out language, like banning books like Tom Sawyer because it has the N-word in it. You know what word I'm talking about. I'm not going to say it here, but that's the thing. I would just say it to make the point, but I don't think I would be able to do that. This video would probably be taken down, even though it's not a video, it's just audio. But everybody knows the word I'm talking about. Let's grow up and be able to actually take, like Malcolm X said, take what's under the rug, put it up on the table, and have a discussion about it. You know, the white man first should be able to speak his mind to the black man, and the black man should be able to speak his mind without offending the white man. We should be able to talk about stuff without being offended. And he was assassinated for saying that kind of stuff. So he died for it. I mean, am I a better man than he? I don't know. I mean, do I deserve to live just scot-free and never defend anybody else's right to free speech as long as they're not really committing outright treason? I would say that he led a good example. So I think that's about a wrap, and I gotta go. I just had to kind of get that off my chest, and it kind of relates to the way we talk to each other and just even speech. Like I said, I made that video yesterday about the non-video about not using profanity or swear words in my speech, you know, cussing. So I think if we change our vocabulary, we can change the outcomes of our lives. We can make things better. Like I made the analogy about the glaciers melting, and it lifted up, like the Earth's crust where the glaciers were, it rose up. It's still rebounding from the time that those glaciers were there 12,000 years ago. Like some parts of the crust are still rising up from that, and you know, the Earth is a good example too. We can rise up, we can use better language, we can be smarter, we can be more effective communicators, and we can understand one another better rather than hating each other. That's what they want, is they want us to hate each other. It's all about hate. Like The View, they're always directing people's hate. That's why my name is Face to the Screen. It's a callback to 1984, George Orwell's 1984, with a 2 minutes hate, where they'd get everybody in a room and make them look at the screen. Everybody had to just scream and shout cuss words at the screen. Like they would show the enemy, Emmanuel, whatever his name was, you know, Goldstein or whatever his name was, whatever. I mean, and then Big Brother would come and just soothe everybody. But it was like a programming thing. Like, so that's what I'm saying. My name, Face to the Screen, doesn't mean that I'm always looking at the screen. It means face to the screen, slaves. You guys, we're all facing to the screen. We're all facing to the same stupid screen that's just trying to poison our minds and make us hate each other. We need to rise above it like the Earth did after the glaciers melted. The glaciers are melting, people. It's getting better. I think a lot of people are waking up and realizing this stuff is just a bunch of bull crap. So, God bless us all, and have a good day.